What's up, everybody? JVille Sports here with my sports picks video. It is Friday night, September the 27th. Thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. Some of you guys might be watching this in the morning. In that case, welcome. It's Saturday, September the 28th. College football Saturday. A lot of good games today. Ton of action. Like always on a Saturday. So I am going to make this as short as possible. We do have a lot of action to get into. I'm going to give out a ton of picks. So for those of you that are new to the channel, welcome. What I like to do with college football and similarly with college basketball is I like to give out a lot of plays because there are a lot of games. So one fun way for me to do that is I just put all of my games that I'm leaning towards together into a parlay. I call it my long shot parlay. That's any parlay where the payout is $10,000 or more. Like I said, I don't necessarily give that out for you guys to take, but it's a way for me to give out a bunch of picks. And if you guys are leaning towards or leaning the same way in any of those games, maybe it gives you a little bit of extra confidence in those games. So that's what I do with college football. Similarly with the NFL, I do a long shot teaser, which I will have another one on Sunday. I'll be releasing that video on Saturday night. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into college football. So for those of you that saw my video this morning, we just missed our free play of the day, which was Maryland +7. It was pretty close. They lost 59-0. Yeah, slight miscalculation there. Basically, Maryland really needed to get off to a quick start. Keep the crowd engaged. That crowd was pumped up, ready to go, and they just got smacked in the mouth. It really was the Maryland quarterback who kind of let the team down. He threw 2 early interceptions, which led to 2 touchdowns, and just midway through the second half, you just knew once you're so hyped up, you're so high, and then you go way down, it just creates a snowball effect. So you knew, you can already see it. I did some in-game, some live wagering on Penn State because you can already tell midway through the second quarter, Maryland was already defeated, and that game was over. There was no way they were going to come back, even make it close. Penn State was just going to continue to roll. The final score, 59-0, is definitely not indicative of the two teams. Penn State is not that good. Maryland's not that bad. Like I said, it just sometimes that snowball effect just happens and there's just nothing you can do. If these two teams played again a week from now, I guarantee that would be a much closer game. It's just one of those games. It happens. And you move on. So we had 2 other plays in college football that I gave out to those that are a part of the village. One of them already cashed. One of them is at halftime. So we're looking to go 2-1 in college football. In the MLB, we have 3 straight plays as well. 2 of them already cashed. One of them is pending. So already a winning day in the MLB. So overall, we're looking to have another 4-2, another winning day, just another day in the village, just winning. But like I said, let's go ahead and move on to today, because like I said, we have a lot to get to. Don't want to make this a super long video. So I'm going to start with my long shot bet from last week. Not really going to go through all the games. Just quickly pull it up here, see how we did. We had BC -7 that came through. Yale Monroe, Iowa State over. Iowa State covered that by themselves. Tulsa -3, that was a push. Miami, Florida -30. They almost lost that game. Did not cover the spread. Miami of Ohio, thought they could keep it a little bit close with Ohio State. Ohio State scored 70 something. We're not able to keep that close. Buffalo +14.5. They were actually an outright winner. Toledo -7, they won but did not cover. I think they actually won by 6, so missed out by 1. Colorado +8 was another underdog that was an outright winner. So we had 8 there. 1 was a push, so bring that down to 7. We had 4 out of 7. So not bad. Winning. But we're looking to do a little bit better than that. We're looking to hit this thing, to be honest. But going at 4 out of 7, like I said, it's a winning day with our free plays. And these are not my best bets as well. That's another thing that I should mention. I give out at least 3 straight bets in college football that are my best bets that I say for those that are a part of the village. These are other games that I'm leaning towards. Some of these games I play, some of them I don't. But like I said, all of the games I'm leaning towards. So that was week 4. Even though it's week 4, it was only our second attempt because we did not have attempts the first 2 weeks. So like I said, 4 out of 7, not bad. As long as we're above 500, that is fine by me. But like I said, we're looking to hit this thing, at least get lucky a couple times this year. So let's go ahead and quickly move on to week 5's long shot parlay. We have Michigan minus 27. It might seem at this point like throwing any kind of money at Michigan is just burning it. But I think at some point this team has to get it together. It's expected that they got off to a slow start this year. They completely changed their offense. I really don't know if they're ever going to get it together this year because really it takes a couple years to change from kind of a pro style offense to a spread offense. You really can't just flip the switch and switch your offense. You have to recruit those type of players. They brought in players that fit a particular offensive scheme, and now they're switching it to a different one, and these players don't necessarily fit that scheme. So it doesn't really matter how much practice they have. It's just they're not going to be as good as they will be if they stick with it in the next year or two. But anyways, they're playing Rutgers, the worst team in the Big Ten. If Michigan is going to get right, it's going to be against them. They should be able to score 50 if they wanted to. 27, I think they can cover. We'll see what happens, but play number 1, Michigan minus 27. Toledo plus 4. They're at home against BYU. BYU is favored. So this team has had a tough schedule. They're coming off back-to-back ranked opponents. USC, they beat Washington last week. They got stomped. And now they have to travel on the road. That was a very physical game. Now they have to travel all the way to Toledo. This is a pretty good Toledo team. I was on them last week, as you saw on the last week's long shot bet. They won on the road, but did not cover. I think this is just a bad spot for BYU. It's more of a play against BYU than it is on Toledo. But we are getting some points here, plus 4. So even if BYU comes away with the victory, we have a little bit of protection. It's just a good spot for Toledo at home. Central Michigan plus 17. This is another game. We're on Miami last week with the long shot, and they were playing Central Michigan. Central Michigan, they had a chance to win that game. So they played very well on the road against a supposed to be good Miami team. So now they travel. They face in-state rival Western Michigan. So they travel back home. It's not really a travel spot. In-state rivalry type of game. You know both teams are going to bring maximum effort. And in those type of games, I like taking the points. 17 is a lot. If Central Michigan can play the way that they played last week, build upon that, Western Michigan should not be able to just blow them away. Liberty minus 7. Probably one of my favorites amongst these 8. They are at home against New Mexico. New Mexico had a tough matchup last week, rivalry game against New Mexico State. That was a 55-52 victory for New Mexico. So this is just a classic flat spot for them. Liberty's the better team. It's a better spot for them at home. New Mexico, they definitely are very excited to get that win last week. And like I said, now they have to travel to face this Liberty team. It's not going to be pretty for them. I don't think so. Liberty minus 7. I will take UNLV plus 10. UNLV is another team. I like what I saw last week. They were on the road against Northwestern. Northwestern, not really a team that's going to blow you away. But UNLV, they were definitely respectable. Kept that game somewhat close. Saw a lot of good things from them. So now they travel. They're facing Wyoming. Wyoming is another team not very good offensively. I think this is going to be a lower scoring game. UNLV likes to run the ball a lot. And I think this is just going to be a lower scoring game. Both teams eating up the clock. And in those type of games, I like taking the points. because this Wyoming's just not that good to pull away from you. So UNLV plus 10, Boston College plus 7. I just think this is too many points. They are at home. They're playing Wake Forest. Wake Forest is 4-0. I think they're getting a little bit too much love here. They might be the better team, but I just have to take the value here. It's Boston College at home. In a lot of people's minds, last time Boston College was at home, they just got smashed by Kansas. Embarrassing performance. They backed that up and got the W last week against a team I already mentioned, a bad Rutgers team. They were on the road. They covered that spread. I was on them last week. I'm going to be on them again this week. Like I said, Wake Forest might be the better team, but I just have to take the value. Wake Forest is not that good to be laying 7 on the road. So BC is going to be my play. And then we have a couple totals, 1 over, 1 under. Starting with the under, we have Northwestern and Wisconsin under 46. So we saw what Wisconsin did to Michigan last week. They just completely rolled all over them. I think Northwestern definitely puts up a better fight here. And like I said, both teams like to run the ball. Northwestern's not high scoring. They do have a good defense. Wisconsin has a great defense. They too like to run the ball. So 2 running teams. I think we just see that clock churning and moving and moving and moving. Long drives by both teams. And I think this game will stay way under 46. It's also a flat spot for Wisconsin. Like I said, they blew out Michigan last week. That was definitely a high for them. And now they stay at home to face a Northwestern team that's not that good. So a little bit of a flat spot for Wisconsin. I do think they pull out the victory, but I just don't think they're going to have that high intensity, highly motivated performance like they had last week. So lower scoring game is my prediction. Coastal Carolina, Appalachian State. 2 teams that have been scoring the ball, especially Appalachian State, averaging 44 points a game. Coastal Carolina not too far behind them at 35 points a game. If you look at the points allowed by Coastal Carolina, they only allow 18 points a game. But if you look at their competition, they played UMass, who's garbage, probably the worst team in football in the FBS. They played Norfolk State, FCS team. They played Kansas when they weren't looking good. Kansas only scored 7 points. They played Eastern Michigan. They gave up 30 points to Eastern Michigan. So even though you look at the stats and they've only given up 18 points a game, definitely misleading. Their defense is not that good. Appalachian State at home is going to score a ton of points on them. And Appalachian State doesn't have the greatest of defense, so I think Coastal Carolina can definitely get their points as well. So my prediction is this game is going to go over 60. Majority of those points being scored by Appalachian State. And that is it. And so that is this week's long shot parlay, 8-team parlay, where $100 will pay out $10,561. Definitely would be nice to hit this. So I'm going to throw this in myself. Like I said, I don't recommend you do the same. I would pluck out your favorites. Like I said, if you were already leaning towards any of these, maybe it gives you a little bit of confidence. If you were against any of these, not to say I'm definitely going to be right, but maybe it gives you a little bit of pause, look into that game a little bit more. But like I said, this is just my way of giving you guys 8 additional picks. Instead of just the one free play that I usually give out. So hopefully you guys enjoy that long shot. We'll see what happens. We'll see if we can hit most of those, if not all of them. And that's going to wrap it up. So let's go ahead and move on to today's free play of the day, which is going to be one of the games I'm more confident in than those. But before I do want to mention my website, JVilleSportsPicks.com. This is where you go each and every day to get your daily free picks when you don't see me on here making a video. In addition to that, this is where you go to sign up to be a part of the village. Like I said, we're looking to have another winning day in both college football and the MLB. Just an absolutely amazing month that we've had so far. It doesn't matter when in the month you join. For example, if you sign up for a 30-day package, it's going to start from the day that you join. So today, or if you're watching this on Saturday, it's the 28th. It's going to go all the way until October the 28th. So you get the full 30 days. It's not a month-to-month type of thing. It's a day-to-day. It counts the number of days from the day that you start. So don't worry about the time of the month to join. Just join when we are hot. And right now we are hot. So come along for the ride. 'Cause like I said, we are on a good one right now, and it's only going to continue. We're right smack dab in the middle of college football and the NFL. And then we have hockey right around the corner. Preseason has already begun, and then we have college basketball and the NBA coming up as well. So it's just a perfect time right now. And then of course MLB playoffs is about to kick off pretty soon here. So just great things happening right now. Great time to be a sports fan. Great time to be a sports bettor. Let's get this. So join the village today. Hit that big blue button. Go to jvillesportspicks.com. Let me know if you do have any questions. My email address, chat at jvillesportspicks.com. You can also hit me up on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. All that information is down below in the description of this video. While you're down there, give this video a thumbs up, please. Hit that subscribe button to let you guys know whenever I do make a new video. You never know when I'm going to pop one out. But other than that, let's go ahead and move on to today's, or I should say Saturday's free play of the day. So this is going to be one of the plays that I'm going to be giving out to the village, and it's going to be in the Pac-12. I am going with the Washington Huskies -10 at home against USC. So both teams are coming off impressive victories. Starting with Washington, they're at home. This team was expected to compete with Oregon to come out of the Pac-12. These are definitely, I would say, the two best teams in the Pac-12. California is undefeated, ranked, making some noise. Utah just suffered a loss. So I think it's clear Washington and Oregon, as of now, in my opinion, are the two best teams in the Pac-12. Washington definitely showed what they are made of last week against BYU. Again, this was a tough spot for BYU coming off a victory over USC. But still, Washington on the road, they went to BYU and just completely smashed them. Final score was 45-19. They were up from the beginning and never looked back. They have a great quarterback, a great coach, good defense. This team is really, really good. They're facing USC at home. USC is coming off an impressive victory against Utah. Both teams are kind of dealing with some injuries. USC is now on their third string quarterback, so he is now making his first start on the road. And what a start it's going to be against Washington. Going to be a hostile environment. Going to be a very, very tough game for them. Coming off that victory against Utah, this is just a tough spot for USC. That was a physical game. Like I said, both Utah and USC coming out of that game with injuries. It was just a hard-fought game, and now they have to travel to face this Washington team. It is not going to be an easy task for them, especially with basically a rookie quarterback making his first start on the road. I love Washington in this matchup. I think we're getting the better coach, the better team, and just a better spot. So all signs point to Washington cruising to an easy victory here. It's -10. It's -10 for a reason. I think Washington wins by 2 touchdowns. So that is going to be the free play of the day for Saturday in college football. Washington Huskies at home -10. Could be 10.5 in some spots. Buy that down to -10. For me, it's -10, -125. But I like Washington here to get the job done against USC. So that's going to wrap it up. I'm going to have definitely a bunch more plays. I'm going to have my best parlay, my best teaser, and my best straight bets, all a part of my daily sports picks package over at the Village. So if you're interested in my daily newsletter, more than just a free play I just gave out here, definitely go to JVilleSportsPicks.com, sign up for that daily newsletter. You'll get all my picks in all sports just for a few dollars a day. I keep it super cheap because I do it for you guys. So that's going to wrap up this video. Again, check out JVilleSportsPicks.com. And that will do it. Good luck with whatever picks you guys do decide to put in. Hope you guys win them all. Have an awesome Saturday. And I will see you guys Saturday night for my NFL video, where we will look to hit another long shot teaser. And I'll also have one of my favorite straight bets as well. And that will wrap it up. So have a good night. If you're watching this Friday night, have a good Saturday if you're watching this Saturday. And I'll see you guys soon.